Hello, how are you? A lot of episodes about economic rights. I know maybe you got bored, but maybe inshallah this will be the last episode about the economic rights for the women under the Islamic law. So let's go and talk about the last thing that we talked about. It was in the inheritance, and I told you how it's different from situation to another, from condition to condition, from case to case, and how the woman has different parts from the inheritance as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a sister, as a grandmother, also as a granddaughter. So there are so many different cases. Let's start with this verse in Surah An-Nisa, which is chapter 4, verse 11. God said, God instructs you concerning your children, for the male what is equal to the share of two females. But if there are only daughters, two or more, for them is 2/3 of one's estate. And if there is only one, for her is half. For her alone is half. And for one's parents, now the rights of the mother. This is the case when she's a daughter for the woman. Now I'm going to talk about the woman if she's a mother. In the same verse, still continue. And for one's parents, to each one of them is 1/6 of his estate if he left children. See, the mother will take the 1/6 of what her son left if he has children. But if he had no children and the parents alone inherit from him, then for his mother is 1/3. For his mother is 1/3. And if he had brothers or sisters, for his mother is 1/6 after any bequest he may have made or debt. Your parents or your children, you know not which of them are nearest to you in benefit. These shares are an obligation imposed by God. Indeed, God is ever knowing and wise. So from this verse, we can see how this verse is talking about the daughter and the mother, and how their parts are different and the cases is different, even the daughter itself. So from just this verse, we can see how in some cases she can take more than the man. And now in verse 12 on the same chapter 4, which is the chapter of the women, Surah An-Nisa, God said, this is about the wives. Now we talked before about the mothers and the daughters, and now the wives, how much the wives will have from the inheritance if their husbands passed away. And for the wives is 1/4 if you leave no child. But if you leave a child, then for them is 1/8 of what you have, after any bequest you may have made or debt. And now the verse 176 from same chapter 4, Surah An-Nisa, which is chapter of the women. This one talking about the sister if her brother passed away. So they request from you a legal ruling. Say God gives you a ruling concerning one having neither descendants nor ascendants as theirs. If a man dies leaving no child but only a sister, has no child, see, but only a sister, she will have half of what he left. If he doesn't have a wife or children, the sister will take half of what he left. And he inherits from her if she dies and has no child. But If there are 2 sisters or more, they will have 2/3 of what he left. If there are both brothers and sisters, the male will have the share of 2 females. God makes clear to you his law, lest you go astray, and God is knowing of all things. When the male has the share of 2 females, that means why? As we talked about, because he will spend those money at the end on those women. So that's all about the economic rights for the women under the wonderful Islamic law. And if you have any questions, if I missed anything and you think about it economically, please ask me. Feel free to ask me about it, and I'll be more than happy to answer all your questions, inshallah. So, alhamdulillah, we finished from the economic rights. Next episode, I'll talk about the social rights, inshallah ta'ala, God willing. And may God protect you, and may God give you safe life and happy life until I see you on the next episode, inshallah, God willing. See you, inshallah.